Hello, and we're live. Yes, and I haven't had my chamomile tea yet because I was talking to people on bloody Facebook. No, but I've needed to wait for it to cool down as well because I've got this mouth ulcer like right there. Oh, I think it even looks red in the camera, and it's painful. And so hot tea, hot tea and mouth ulcer, not a good idea. So now that it's cooled down, we can just sip some tea until people come here. Oh, hello, there's 2 people already. How's it going? Oh, yeah, so, haven't posted any videos in like a week and a half. Last week I watched Hard Quiz and Gruen. Just was a bit tired, like everything's so busy all of a sudden. Yeah, no, because I was doing extra work at Bonsai, and then, hey, hello! What time is it where you are? I'm always scared to know. I forget where you live. And yeah, I don't know how long the chat delay is either. 9 a.m. Okay, that's not too bad. I think it must be the Americans who are all like up in the middle of the night. 8 o'clock. Oh well, Sydney time. Hey. Hello. Yeah, no, so life being busy, extra shifts at Bonsai, and then in my work from home job, new software system that hasn't really been going so smoothly. So yeah, I've got to do some extra work on that tomorrow because I don't do that on Wednesdays. Yeah, so there'll be a lot to catch up on, and then figuring out what to do. And then I've also got like some small music things to do, and I had a list of stuff, but oh, I can't even keep up with my own life at the moment. No, I've been out and about. Some of that's on Facebook. On Saturday, I went and met a fan of Rainbow Death Ray. Missed out on our like main thing, but discovered us later and bought some merch. So I dressed up and puffed up my hair, and yeah, we met up. And then I went to lunch with Mum afterwards at the Sydney Fish Market. Yeah, and then oh, Pinky, yeah, Luke and Pinky. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone in ages. Like just as I was starting to go out to more gigs is when everything shut down. Yeah, and then I've only like seen a handful of people since then because it's just like usually I would go to gigs, but they're all sit down gigs at the moment, and that means, and like I don't know, some places it seems like you have to book in, or if you don't book in there's a chance you won't get in, and so I feel like I have to be more planned. And sometimes I just don't know when I'm going to be in the mood to go out. So yeah, I haven't been to any gigs in ages. Yeah, but like at least Sydney's doing okay. Like South Australia locking down again, but like really hard, like New Zealand style. That's pretty crazy. Just watching that on the news. Yeah, no, what else have I done? I got new glasses. They're in my bag. I can't be bothered to get them. What happened with my band? Oh, so Rainbow Death Ray. We went on hiatus when I got really badly depressed. I was already starting to get there before our EP came out. But I think once that was done, I had that sort of deflation. I think I talked about it in that, was it the video where I said like, what's next? When I finish goals, it's just like, now what? Instead of me feeling the achievement, but also like, my grandmother had died by then, and that set off the whole existential thing. So I started to get depressed, and then my grandpa died a few months later. And so like I kept up with performing and all that. But I was trying different medications, and at some point it was just too hard because I react badly, and I got some really bad side effects and couldn't concentrate even at work, so I couldn't work anymore, and I stopped doing band, and they couldn't really go on without me, because I was overworking myself, so that doesn't help. And then, yeah, spent a couple years depressed, and now I'm fine, mostly. Oh yeah, hugs back, digital hugs. Yeah, like, because I've got I had biological depression, and I seem to be prone in that sense. Medication would be the most sensible thing for me to do, except that I react badly to the side effects. So eventually, I had to stop altogether and just get through the depression, like let the depression run its course, I guess. Mum likes to joke retail therapy is what fixed me, because I went to Japan for a month and just like shopped around Harajuku, stayed with my family there. I do a lot of videos. I don't get to watch them all, but I try. Yeah. Oh, well, also my videos are really long, so I'm sorry. I'm very chaotic as a YouTuber. Side effects. Oh, brain zaps. Yeah, I had the brain zaps as well, and I had no idea what was going on because like no one warns you about that stuff. Yeah, I think it was another YouTuber who helped me figure out what that was. Yeah, no, that the brain zaps was crazy when I was coming off them, and I had to do it twice, I think. Yeah, no, I tried everything. I tried up to tricyclics, well, SSRIs, SNRIs, tricyclics. I tried Valdoxin, which is more of a melatonin kind of thing. Herbal. I tried St. John's wort, not strong enough for me. And there's like, then you have to do all the, like, there's certain things you can't have with it. That's also like why I didn't go on to MAOIs, because I mean, for one thing, they're more full on. So like chances of me getting less side effects, nah. But then you can't have things like cheese. And I'm like, if I can't have pizza, what's the difference? You know, like it's supposed to fix your depression, but then you can't have pizza. And I'm just like, no, I've got to have some pizza. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that. But yeah, anyway, so oh yeah, no, see, I've tried the meditation thing. It doesn't work for me. I think it works for people with specific thinking patterns and whatever, and for me it just didn't. No, grapefruit. Oh my god. Yeah, no, this year also, like I haven't been on antidepressants, but great. Not having pizza would make me more depressed. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, um well, I just had a thought and I've lost it. Meditation. Was there something I was gonna say after that? I don't know. I don't know. I had a thought and it's gone. It'll probably come back later in the stream and I'll be like, guys, I just but yeah, no, it's difficult when you're trying to sort that stuff out. And it depends what kind of depression you have, because if it's the the one that you treat with psychology, then you can do stuff like meditation. But if it's the more biological one, then medication's probably the best bet. Well, everyone's different, so you guys will probably have different experiences. Yeah, and then there's so many things that can cause depression as well. Oh, that's what the thought was. The Claritine that made me depressed earlier on, like a few months back. Like, how does that work? I don't know. Like, our bodies react to stuff differently, and so like there's weird stuff like that that can make you depressed, and it's just like internet lag, football. Oh yeah, yeah. So anyone who's not in Sydney, or not in Australia, we've got like some football match that everyone's excited about. Blues is New South Wales, right? So I should go for them, but I really don't care. It's rugby league for one thing, which pretty much only Aussies care about, and my family is more of a union family, so yeah, no, I'm not really a sports person, which is probably quite obvious just from like Although I suppose there are sports people who would do their hair in the colors of their team, but I've got both the colors, so anyway, the Rainbow Death Ray. So like I got heaps depressed, stopped doing the band, and then just like I think I've changed too much, but also figured out more what I want, and so I'm just like I don't really have any interest in reviving Rainbow Death Ray, at least not in that form. And I don't think I would even keep the same name because like dumb little me, I didn't realize that people would think we were some kind of lesbian band. Like I was just thinking rainbows as in like colors and we're chicks and we're colorful, but I totally forgot that like it's also a symbol of like pride and stuff, gay pride, whatever. And I'm just like, that's not what I meant. And although like I can understand someone thinking that because we were a bunch of girls, but there was someone who also thought we were death metal, and I'm like, okay, I death growl, but that doesn't really mean we're death metal. I'm into NRL until meeting your band. The Great Reset. I can keep the name. No, I don't want to do Rainbow Death Ray anymore. See, like Rainbow Death Ray started, like I didn't really know what I wanted. For one thing, in a band, I just wanted to start one. I was also like, I had been talking to some dudes here and there, but instead of like sending me tracks that they'd promised me, they'd just be like, oh yeah, I'll send you some, and then the next day they're like, so you want to go to the movies? And like, don't use music as a pickup line with me. It was super annoying. Like I never got any tracks from these people. They just wanted to ask me out. And you should never date within a band. It's a bad idea because there's so much awkwardness, and then when you break up, more awkwardness. It's just a bad idea. I've seen people who've had relationships within bands and it just doesn't end well. But yeah, no, Rainbow Death Ray. So after like some of those dudes trying, I just sort of looked around. I was still at music school and I was like, I actually know a band's worth pretty much of girls, so why not? Weird thing is, none of those girls ended up in the final lineup, but that's how we got started. And it was just meant to be for fun. It wasn't meant to be like, let's crowdfund an EP and all that. So it was much more cheerful than I meant it to be. And the persona, I mean, I guess sometimes I'm kind of bubbly because I'm like, hey guys, but it didn't really get enough of the darker things that I wanted, I guess. And did I leave? Oh no, the camera is confusing. I thought I left the light on. So yeah, Rainbow Death Ray was never really the band that I was meaning to start or like that I was going to put my life into. And then I put so much effort into it anyway and burned myself out because I'm an idiot like that. You know, if I see something that needs to be done and no one doing it or no one doing it well, I tend to just be like, get out of the way, guys, I'll fix it. It's like even with Winter Gaunt, which was my first proper band, like first band that actually went out into the world and gigged because they were doing that before I turned up. Even with that, we'd like practiced all the songs, we were all solid, and then I'm like, so when are we gonna gig, guys? And it was just like tumbleweed. So I was like, okay, I don't know anything about the music scene, but I will try and organize some gigs. And so I think I organized like all of them, and I was the noob. But yeah, like if I hadn't done that, would we have gigged? I don't know. And so I just saw something that wasn't being done at all, but also not fast enough. And I'm just like, okay, guys, I'll fix that. I even did our finances and stuff. That's just how I am. Yeah, I procrastinate on my own stuff at home, and like there's this chaos I would like to fix at some point but I got to decide what to get rid of. But yeah, no, when it's like external to me and perhaps people relying on me, maybe I'm like, okay, what needs doing? I've got it sorted, guys. And if I see someone doing something and it's not quite right, sometimes I get frustrated. So yeah, I have a tendency to just be like, I'll do that. Depending on like the power structure though, you know, if there's a clear leader, I'm happy to just say, okay. And, you know, if things are done wrong, it's not my problem. Yeah, okay, we'll just do whatever you want. I'll get a little bit frustrated watching if they mess something up, but it's not my responsibility, so I can just chill out. Anyway, tangents. So nature, I'm not really a nature person. With this hair, I don't want to get wet. I mean, like, I got a little bit of water spray at bonsai walking under sprinklers. That's not a big deal because I've washed it. I've washed it once since I got it done, but that gets rid of all the excess, so that's fine. But like, I don't want to be getting salt water or chlorine or anything. And the more I can avoid water, the better a chance I give for it not fading too fast. Because yeah, I like to go a few months before getting it redone, when the regrowth is enough to make it worthwhile. But also nature, speaking of nature, so here's my terrarium, which I know you guys didn't really get into that video because a lot of you didn't bother watching. It's a bit foggy inside, but I haven't kept the lid off in a bit because I had a bit of mold from this leaf that had sort of melted, and you can't really see what's going on in there. Anyway, the mold turned into, I guess, rot, and now that leaf that was dead is like basically rotted away, but the rest of the plant is fine. There's no more fluffy white mold, so I'm like, well, who needs to get rid of mold? It's just nature's process, right? So this is how I do nature. I put it in a jar, and it gets worse because I made a second one, but I didn't show you a video of it yet. I keep thinking maybe I will. I'm sorry, the reflection is makes it even harder. Oh my god, and I'm going the wrong way. Oh, did it focus a little bit there? Yeah, and there was a little wormy thing in it, and there was a little centipede wormy thing in it, and then there's this plant here on this end is growing a lot, and yeah, no, this one has a little bit more going on. It's just really hard to show you guys. And so, like, nature, if I was gonna go on a bushwalk, maybe I would do it just to put stuff in a terrarium, but I haven't even finished exploring my own garden for bits and pieces because all this stuff is just from my garden. Even the rocks, I don't even know why we had those rocks. One of them is a pebble from like a path that has long since disappeared under garbage, leaf litter and so on. The other rock, don't know where that's come from, but I found it in the garden. And just putting in as many plants as I think will go. It's all weeds, so they grow, and then there's things inside, and that's nature for me. Where am I up to? Awakening process. Oh, I'm not into like karma or I'm not a spiritual person. I'm a very dead inside atheist, and that's probably part of the reason I keep getting depressed because, people recommend spiritual stuff and I just can't. I've tried, like I grew up Catholic, and so when I became an atheist, there was like this God-shaped hole where like my whole sense of purpose in the world used to be. I know some atheists, when they finally become atheists, they find it liberating. I did not have that experience. I just had this like, because like I was one of those kids who did the like you'd race to the back on the Sunday morning kids church session and try to be the one who gets to hold the book to go up the thing, and then also sometimes I was like signed up to read the thing, read a gospel or whatever in my little flowery dress because that's how young I was at the time. I was going to be a priest until I found out that chicks can't be priests, so they lost me there, didn't they? Yeah, and so like I was like, okay, your whole life you're told God has a purpose for you. And I'm like, okay, sweet. Life makes sense then. I just wait until God tells me what I'm supposed to do with my life. And then I find out there is no God, or at least that's what my brain tells me. And I'm like, this can't be right. Like I had things sorted. So what if I've just found the wrong God? And I think around then, when did I become an atheist? Maybe like year 5-ish. And then in year 7, then I would have gone through puberty. And puberty is when I started having mental health, like the start, I think, is when the mental health stuff started to kick in. And so the impact of being an atheist kicked in then. And then, yeah, when I was in year 7 was when September 11 happened. And then Islam's in the news. And I'm like, maybe I should check out that religion because for one thing, it's new and different. But for another thing, explosions. I'm terrible. Anyway, Johnny, message deleted by the Google moderator team. I've never had that happen before, so I don't know what you said there, but yeah. Audio engineering, JMC. I went to AIM. Huh? Oh, you guys are talking about something that I don't really know. Hypnotherapy can't make you kill someone, can it? I think to be hypnotized, you have to be very suggestible. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the comments, and so now I'm having trouble lining them up to things that I've said. Yeah, I'm half Japanese, but oh, does that all relate to the John Yoko thing? I don't know. Devil's trumpet, really? But then again, doesn't it? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh yeah, Darwin Obsidian. Yes, live rant or ramble. Oh, hello, Novus Neuro, even Rhoda Press, the unbelievers. Don't believe the media who said what. Oh, okay, so I've caught up. I'm a little bit confused by what's going on in the chat, but guys, try to behave because message deleted by the Google moderator team. I've never seen that before. I'm not aware of any moderators. I'm gonna guess that it's like an algorithm thing. Both work with the rant and ramble. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. It's been so I needed some time to just chill. Because life has gotten busy. Like I've gone outside into the world. Places apart from my work. And then things being busy, like I've done some extra shifts at Bonsai, and then with my work from home, moving on to a new system that's I got to learn all that, but also smooth out all the issues. So I'm expecting tomorrow to be busy, and I hope I'm not too tired because there's like a few days worth of stuff that's piling up. Although I didn't get any today, so it's all gonna hit at once. Anyway, yeah, no, and then I've got a couple music things to work on. Ooh, but yeah, no, they're just like small things. I'm still looking for a band. How good is the Alienware PC? Yeah, I'm happy with it. Google moderator team implying that it's not just a program running on a virtual server in a data center telling you what you can't say on YouTube. Well, see, I don't know. I suppose some of you guys might have seen whatever the message was, but it might be like if it had a certain keyword, they might like just zap it. Because like as if they have a moderator to watch my channel. Because like I'm not really anyone special on YouTube. Like, oh yay, they monetized me, but they gave that back to me, but I'm still not anyone that they're gonna care about, really. Oh dear. Send you a Facebook message. Ooh. Okay. Oh no, that's the message that's after the one that's removed. Is there a way that I can see? No, it doesn't tell me what it was. Oh well. No, so I can still see the message after that, which is the one you sent me. Except that the spelling is different. Anyway, let me just finish my tea. And yeah, I've got this terrible little ulcer thing. You see that? Yeah, it's horrible. I don't know why. Like, was I really clumsy enough to bite my own lip there or scrape it somehow? Or do mouth ulcers just pop up? Because that's sometimes what it feels like. And it's terrible because I need that part of my mouth to drink. So I've been trying to drink out the side. Easily distracted. Pretty accurate. Yeah, no, what? I'm getting a following, better keep an eye on. I've been joking since high school that the government was watching me. Only just got video without like, yeah, unfortunately live streaming is still a bit iffy, but also my my little recordy thing and my camera don't match up perfectly. So some of you guys have said you don't notice, but I know when I put it into my editing software, there is like, depending on what frames I set it, it's either a 4 or a 6 frame lag, which I notice. It annoys me, so I shift the audio manually. But if I do a direct upload or if I do the live streaming, it might not match. Oh, are we talking beer now? I don't know anything about beer. No, speaking of software, I finally downloaded DaVinci Resolve, but I haven't opened it yet. Like, I haven't had time to film anything, and it's hard with like, I mean, there's people at home, but also just not enough time. And then some of the videos that I wanted to make, I feel like I need to write down notes to make sure I sort of cover everything, but also stay on topic and try not to go on too many tangents, because like, even if I just talk about the stuff that I mean to talk about, that feels like it'll go for ages. Okay. I don't, try not to be weird in the comments, because I don't want to have to like delete anyone. But physicist? Yeah, okay, I'm really confused. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, no, at some point I want to do DaVinci. What? I feel like your name being pretty. Oh my god. Oh yeah, anyway, so DaVinci Resolve, and apparently my graphics card, like I can get a driver that works really well with it. So I might try, like, I don't know if I've already got it installed, like if it does it automatically or if I have to hunt it down. But yeah, no, because HitFilm Express is what I normally use. And it was good because like it's free, it also does special effects. And it also worked on my old computer, whereas DaVinci Resolve was like, no, you need to have all these different specs. And my old computer, which was 8 years old at the time, was just like, yeah, nah. And it was already dying just using HitFilm Express. So poor old computer. But new computer, I basically bought it with DaVinci Resolve in mind, plus some headroom, because, you know, as time goes on, they update things and it probably will become more demanding over time. So hopefully I've future-proofed a bit for that. So yeah, it's about time I actually downloaded it to try it. But I do still have like a few project files in HitFilm Express, and then there's some things I know how to do in HitFilm Express that I don't know if DaVinci Resolve will be able to do it. But like HitFilm Express, yay, it has effects, but I don't do a lot with it. The selling point for me for DaVinci Resolve is it actually has audio software type stuff in it, and I really just want like a limiter or a compressor or something like that, so I don't have to constantly manually change the audio level if I want to make things louder but without clipping. So yeah, I think they've got like Fairlight on there. You can pay for HitFilm Express and get extra things that can do similar stuff, it sounds like. But DaVinci Resolve has it for free, apparently, like the basics that I need. So yeah, at some point I'll try that on my Alienware. Just been kind of busy. Hey, your comments are a little bit crazy, like they're sort of jumping between things and I can't follow. Okay, I don't need an audio program. I have my Mac for audio stuff. It's got my microphone attached to that. So it's all good. It's like 2009, so it's 11 years old. Oh my god. But it still does the job. And like with audio, if they made great records on tape in the 70s, then I should be able to do something okay with my 11-year-old whatever. I just like, and because I don't use it enough, I can't justify to myself getting something new if it's not broken. Also, I don't want it to break because I'm really comfortable with the software that's on it and all that. But no, it's with a video program that the video program that I really need to get on top of. So I will try that as something. It doesn't bother me that it's digital, because tape had its own issues. Like every single technology has some kind of issue, and you've just got to negotiate that. Interesting that people tend to think analog was better, but I think we looked at some of the psychology of that, like with vinyl, for example, and the reason it sounds better to some people is because there are errors that come through, and so that makes it sound more human, whereas things like CD, digital technology, because it's so perfect, it sounds unnatural, and people don't like that. Analog, I think, also has a certain warmth because it can't produce some of the frequencies that a digital can, and so yeah, perfection isn't necessarily the most aesthetic experience. So yeah, there's some of that goes on there. So CD, digital technology, is much more technically perfect, but analog has more human qualities, and so more people, well, certain types of people are drawn to that. Yeah, anyway, so you just have to know how the different technologies work and play with it. Because yeah, there's certain limitations that vinyl has. For example, like you can't do out of phase stuff. Apparently the needle pops out or something, and you can't do, was it bass that you have to be careful about? Like if you overdo it, if you don't cut out the lowest, I think you'd cut right through the vinyl, or I don't know, I don't remember. It's been such a long time since I studied that stuff. Geez, almost a decade. I feel really old sometimes. There's some people who still think I'm young. I think people are starting to like visually see that I'm not a kid now. I don't know exactly when the change took place, but I have noticed people are starting to guess my age a little better. Yeah, no, oh my god, it was like only a couple years ago people were still like, so, are you like 16? And I'm like, oh my god, I haven't been 16 for so long. What are you talking about? Anyway, yeah, no, so what else is going on? Where's my drink bottle? Is still in my bonsai bag. Hang on. Still something in there. Definitely there is AI that can digitally recreate what sounds like analog performance, and I want yeah, no, purists. It's interesting because like nothing stays the same, and if we all got stuck using the same old technology, it'd be pretty boring. There's this guy on Facebook that someone sent me the page where they're making fun of this dude who like messages bands hoping to find that their drums are like completely unaltered or something like that, and I'm just like, it's a bit like the auto-tune thing. People absolutely, well, they claim to hate auto-tune with a passion, some of those people, but I mean, there's excessive auto-tune. There's also auto-tune used for bad singers. And then there's what it was originally designed to do, which is just like smooth over something because, vocals, it's like vocals are your body. And so sometimes you're going to get weird things happening. And so maybe you just need to smooth it over rather than do 50 gazillion takes and wear out the singer that you're trying to record. Sometimes it's just easier, just like everything else was perfect except this one tiny bit that was ever so slightly out. I think there are people who overuse it, but like any human tool, it can be used for good or evil. So yeah, I mean, there's purists. they can hold you back a little bit. Like, I think it's sort of you gotta negotiate between the different things. Like, you capture a bit of the old style, but not neglect the new, know when to use the different things. I don't know. But yeah, it also makes me think of elitism in music, or like subcultures or whatever. And the funniest ones are always like goth elitists, because the whole point is like, well, I guess maybe they disagree on the point, but like goth elitists who think that you can only be into 80s stuff and only have that particular aesthetic and all that. And it's like, this subculture was partly to do with rebellion, wasn't it? And now you're telling them to conform. Very strange. Yeah. I think a lot of people do that. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you have to, know your own limits, but also not be too hard on yourself. Huh? What? Oh, I'm so confused by your comments. Anyway, yeah, no, okay, so what else is going on at the moment? I don't know. I'm just like, I feel like I've got so much to do, and then there's like plants outside that need constant looking at. Because I got on my Woolies gun things, and then extra stuff keeps happening. I got one of these because I was curious, bonsai jacaranda kit, and yeah, well, I was thinking of making a video about that. Just like, in summary, if you want to learn bonsai, a kit like that is not really the way to go. You should probably get lessons nonconformists that conform to a nonconformist culture. Yes, exactly that. Exactly that. It's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, and actually, I was talking to, who was I talking to? I think one of Mikey's carers and mum was talking to about my style. And my visual style, I guess, is a bit unusual, because like there's goth stuff, but it's also like there's a lot that I don't conform to. And I think we kind of concluded that it maybe I've just sort of subconsciously gravitated towards more of the Japanese Harajuku kinds of stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff I bought from Harajuku, not all of it, but I did get a lot from there. But like for example, I don't have any tattoos. Western Gothic culture, a lot of goths. Am I even a goth though? Because I don't really listen to goth music. See, like, but like if you think from a Japanese perspective, I could be a Harajuku goth, because they don't really care so much about those specifics. It's just like the general vibe. Maybe that's what I like about. I don't know. Japanese culture does that a lot, and similar like with the attitude to religion, you don't have to stick to one. You can be like whatever's convenient at the time. So you could have, I think sometimes they choose based on what ceremony they like. So you're Shinto for the baptism, and then maybe these days you'd be maybe Christian for the wedding because they like that imagery, and then for death you might be Buddhist because there's that. And Shinto doesn't really have a death ceremony that I remember. Yeah, and so like I just take what I want from the different subcultures and do my own thing. What exactly is Harajuku? Harajuku is the area in Tokyo. It's like a suburb, and I mean these days the locals don't really congregate there because that's where all the tourists go, and they've sort of figured that out and just want to get away. But for a while, all the alternative fashion cultures would congregate there. There's also, well, there were a lot of shopping, a lot of little shops that had alternative fashion. Some of them have closed down or moved on, and I think it's slowly changing, which tends to happen with places anyway. But yeah, and then so there's like different Harajuku fashion cultures that popped up there and blah blah blah. Oh, you got a bonsai? Yeah. District in, oh, where's Shibuya? You explain it for me. Harajuku is a district in Shibuya, Tokyo, Japan. Well, what's going on with Facebook? Oh, someone's just liking stuff. Let me have a look at that. Oh, it's just my godmother. I hope she hasn't like turned up to watch me live streaming, because she did once, and I was like, hello. hello. Let me just open those and then I can move on with my life. Oh god, yeah. Sometimes I write way too much on Facebook, but anyway, yeah. Yeah, no, fashion. I'm struggling to get this to stand up straight like that. Like I can get the two like, sort of heart-shaped kind of thing, but to back comb it and then spray it to stand up, I haven't quite mastered yet. So I don't know enough about hair to make that work. Oh dear. But I will keep trying to recreate the salon thing. Although as things go on, I start getting more regrowth and more hairspray. The thing about bleached hair as opposed to natural hair, bleached hair is better for like back combing and stuff because like it's a little bit damaged, I guess. And so yeah, whereas I mean this is what I've been told or heard over the years, whereas natural hair is too clean and strong and all that kind of stuff, so it's a little bit harder to do weird stuff with it. Yeah, so as I get more regrowth, it might even become more difficult unless I figure out what I'm doing. I think we need to see your mohawk. No, actually, one thing, can you see this color, the color change? Because like I've got little layers. And so one thing I'm thinking is when I go back to get it touched up, I might have those dark blues and purples. Well, you can't really see the purple in this light so well, but I might actually do, because like at the moment it's mostly the light blue that you can see on the outside, but I actually really like this sort of darker blues and purples. Maybe it'll be easier to show on this side. Not really. I'm sorry my lighting setup's no good, but yeah, dark blues and purples and have that on the outside. And I think I won't bother with the turquoise, the greeny stuff, because it hasn't really done a whole lot. I don't think it really contributes. Like you can see bits of it, but it's a bit faint. Whereas yeah, those dark blues and purples, I actually really like. And I think maybe deeper ocean kind of stuff. And then I think also with this, so this is sort of like, it's kind of a cool red. And I think I want to try and like ask for either a warmer red if they've got it, or maybe mix it with a bit of orange. I think further down somewhere. See, like that's a bit more of a brighter red compared to the cool red. There's like a hotter, and I think that's sort of mixed in with the orange. I think I want to have a bit more of that, because like, the idea is to have more of a fiery kind of thing. I mean, cool red, you could have some like molten lava, a bit like that, but I think I prefer the fiery hot for that section. And then if I can't get it to stand up high enough, like it doesn't have to be full on straight up, just like sort of to going towards the back. If I can't get it with this length, I might ask to get it like maybe even half the length and just sort of spike it up instead. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see how I go. But also, by the time I need to touch it up, we will be more into summer. And so it will be hotter. So if I, shorten the back even more, that will actually be, better for the weather. I mean, this is already like having all that weight taken off, so I can actually get some air into my neck and not sweat so much. That's been so amazing. That was the longest I had ever had my hair, and especially natural hair, and natural and uncolored and all that jazz. It's just too much. I don't understand how some girls can, and some guys even, can tolerate having such long hair like that for ages. Like the look, okay, yeah, I get it. The look is kind of cool having long hair, but the feel once you cut the back away, so much better. Especially in the warmer months. Maybe in winter you could go longer, but in the summer, just get rid of it. So yeah, might go a bit shorter and spikier, and then it'll be easier for me to like make it stand up. And because I'm not girly enough to know really how hair works, and coming to hair products late in my life and all that, and then also having that big gap while I was depressed, I probably really need to like start with something easier, and then once I get the smaller ones to spike up, then I can level up a bit and maybe eventually get the full on going. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But I do like this overall style. I think long at the front, short at the back is definitely me. Color-wise, we can still tweak a bit. But I think I do like the sort of, you know, blue and red. Color is something that I used to change my mind on a lot. So we'll see what happens. But I think I've calmed down more as a person compared to my early 20s. Is that when I started getting my hair done? I don't even remember, like, time. What even is time? And I'm too old for my own good. Yeah, no, I think I've calmed down a bit. So maybe I will be able to just hang on to one color for a bit longer, like one set of colors, instead of like doing dramatic changes all the time. And I've learned my lesson. Don't use any black hair dye, because, you know, then if I want to change, you have to wait for it to grow out. And who has the patience? Not me. Not anymore. Yeah. Although, like, you know, there are some nice things about the black color. So I can see why I kept going back to it. But yeah, in terms of changeability, it's not very good. And I could just go for like a dark purple if I want to get more of that black coloring, right? So yeah, that's the... If I come closer, can you see it better? Kinda. You know, and it's too bad I don't know how to style my hair to show more of that now. Yeah, you can see my hair's a little bit ripply because I had it in plaits for bonsai today, just to keep it out of the way. Yeah, but that'll straighten out overnight. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, and then I've also like been trying to catch up on, you know, following up emails and stuff that I just, like, this year has just been so crazy. And I think the point where things really fell apart for me was when my dog had to go to the specialist vet, you know, like the dog hospital, because that was just my life for like a month or two there, and everything else went on hold pretty much. And I think that was probably the biggest blow to my mood, and especially with the morning routine, which I'm hoping next week maybe we can change. Yeah, I think that's probably where the 2020 started to get to me, because it's just been thing after thing, you know, world events aside, just my own life. You know, the fact that I started off in crutches, my dog ends up in dog hospital, and, you know, everything from my aircon not working when it first got installed to the fan in my bathroom falling from the ceiling. I had a list where... When did I stop updating that list? Let me have a look. 2020 bullshit it's called. Oh, I stopped updating it in March, and it's this huge list of crap that just happened to me, just up to, like, what's the exact date that I stopped? Up to the 21st of March is when I stopped updating this list, and it's just thing after thing after thing. 2020, man. You know, sometimes I think it's dyslexia. How did I believe I wasn't as smart as I thought? Oh, yeah, it's more the jumping between topics. And sometimes I'm not sure what topics you're referring to. I guess because you're posting so many different things, and I think that's what's throwing me off. But that's okay. We're surviving. Yeah, no, one thing I want to try and do is, like, maybe set up OBS to do live stream, or I've still got this link for Streamlabs I was going to check out, and, you know, maybe I can check out some more streaming stuff. But to share like a part of my screen so that I can show you some of the stuff I'm looking at as I'm doing it. It would be good if YouTube timestamped the comments. Yeah, that would be helpful. Hey, I think like only in the replay you see things like popping up as they went, but yeah, the brain's overreacting. Probably won't be much help. Yeah. No, Facebook does it, but the problem with Facebook timestamping is like it combines everything. Hey, so the stuff that was happening live and then the stuff that someone's posting later, it just says, okay, at the point in the video. So if you make a comment on a video that you haven't pressed play on, it starts at like 0 as the timestamp. It does timestamp. Oh, I don't know how to see it. Maybe it's easier to see on the phone. I don't know. On the computer, I can't see any option for it. Oh well, there's a thing where I can put user in time. Does that like hide someone for a little bit while they've been misbehaving? YouTube giving me power things is not the greatest idea. Yeah, no, so it's not showing up on the computer. Top right. Yeah, no, so maybe are you guys watching on mobile or something, or I don't know. I'm in this like live studio thing, and so it's not showing any timestamps for me. On PC, okay. You got to toggle. Oh, toggle timestamps. Hey, there it is. But it's distracting, so let's get rid of that. Yeah, no, we found it. Okay, we solved a YouTube mystery, how to see timestamps. It's a little toggle thing. Android phone. Oh my god, I need to get a new phone at some point, and which means I have to like check what phone. I'm probably inclined to stay with Samsung just because I know how it works and all that. I know there are other phones out there, but I'm just I don't know. Now I've got to do the whole research thing again, and I don't want to. And then I was looking at like when does the next lot of Samsung Team Samsung? When does the next lot of phones come out? And I think usually the announcement they said is in February, but there's speculation it might come out in January. How the chat popped out on my second screen. Actually, second screen would be useful if I was going to do like live gaming or something. I don't need 5G. I need it. I need a phone that can act as a phone, because apparently mine. It sounds fine to me when I'm talking, but people tell me that there's an echo and they can hear themselves, and that has only really happened since I had the charge port fixed. Like I've had all kinds of, if you watch video that I've filmed on the phone, that there's weird audio things going on that didn't used to be there, which is a shame because it was really good. Like I could film concerts with it and it wouldn't sound like garbage. Like it must have a limiter or something in there so that it doesn't just clip the entire time. But yeah, no, there's some audio issues. So the main things I need the phone for, one is to like operate as a phone. I don't go out much though, and that's not just a like, pandemic life thing. I just don't go out very much because I'm not a social person. But when I do go out and someone needs to contact me, then I need a phone and try and, I don't know if the sound is slowly going over time because it was a while before anyone told me that was happening. I don't know. And then the other thing I want the phone for is like photo and video. I don't download stuff on the phone because I'm on a Optus plan, not a plan, a prepaid thing, where I'm essentially spending the equivalent of $5 a month. So it basically just like keeps the thing going. If I need to make a call, I can. If I need to download something, I can. But I try not to, and I just build up credit, my prepaid credit. I've got quite a lot of prepaid credit now. Actually, I've got a recharge soon. Oh, there's another thing I was going to look up. I've got to remember to do that. Where is my thing that'll tell me how much? I've got a recharge in about a week, and yeah, I've got like $140 of credit. But so like I don't download stuff on my phone. I wait until I come home on the Wi-Fi and don't waste my phone credit. Yeah, because I don't pay for the internet here, but I do pay for my phone. So that's one way that I try and save some money. And like, what am I going to download on my phone anyway? I don't watch videos on it because like, look how small the screen is. Whereas I have this, why wouldn't I watch stuff there instead of on this? And what else am I going to download? So I don't need 5G, and 5G also takes more battery. So you know, I have no desire for that. So when they're trying to use it as a selling point, I'm just like, I don't care. Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons I got I waited. This is my first ever smartphone, by the way, still. It's the S7 Edge. I didn't buy earlier models because they kept trying to sell it to me based on gimmicks. But then when I finally needed one, because like Pokemon Go was out, but also they were getting rid of 2G network, which my old Nokia works on. Yeah, I finally had to get something, and I like after looking it up, this one had good battery life and like the main things I wanted without trying to sell me constant gimmicks. So yeah, it's just a shame about the charge port. So the next phone will definitely have USB-C. I missed out by like one generation maybe, or I don't know, when did they get it? But yeah, no. If the selling point is 5G, I'm just not impressed. I only buy a new phone when it breaks. I mean, does this count as broken? I know there's people who like update their phone every year or 2 years whenever their contract runs out, and I'm just like, that's so wasteful and expensive too. Because like you might like if you calculate like how long over the years you take to pay off a phone versus the plan and so on, you can get it to a point where it's the same, but you actually get more from bringing your own phone, like in terms of what the plan includes, or I don't know. But yeah, no, does this count as broken because people are complaining about the call quality? And then I can't do the video stuff that I like to do as cleanly. I could always like get my audio gadget and take them both somewhere and then sync them up later, but like what a mess that is. Yeah, I don't know. J1 or J2? No, I've got to have a flagship, damn it. Where's Cam? Where's Mr. Cam Walker? We were just talking about like why do I spend so much money on things? Because I've got to have the flagship. God damn it! Yes, I'm one of those like posh, you know. No, I save up all my money and then I blow it all in one go. Have you ever shattered a phone screen? No, because the only phones I've ever owned, I had a Nokia 3310. I have my Nokia 3315, which I sometimes use as a backup alarm clock. It's just constantly plugged in. And so like those are unbreakable. And then I've got my only smartphone ever in an OtterBox case. And you can see the case has some scratches. But when I've opened it up, the phone inside is almost flawless. And I've had this about 4 years, and I have dropped it clearly by the scratches on this. And yeah, yippee. And that's another reason to get a flagship, because OtterBox doesn't make cases for every phone. They only make it for certain ones and tends to be the flagships, because if you're going to spend so much money on a phone, you should probably protect it. And here's another thing they can't sell. You know, like this trend of saying how thin your phone is. Like, you know, we can't call it thickness anymore. We call it the thinness. Marketing jargon. Like, I can see through your bullshit, guys. But also, I don't care, because I'm going to put, I'm going to Nokia-fy it with a fat case anyway. So who cares about how thin it is? Just make it robust. If you make it a little bit thicker, I'm not going to notice, I'm not going to care, and you might fit more components in, maybe for cheaper too. Like, who cares about thinness? It's a market, like, it's already big anyway, you might as well go big that way, just a little bit. We dealt with brick phones just fine. Give me like a chunky phone that won't break as easily, that has space for extra batteries, that still has space for a headphone jack, because that's another thing about the new phones is they're all abandoning the headphone jack, except that I don't use headphones anyway when I'm out and about, so I don't really need it. I realize that, but it's the principle, God damn it, and this has been a rant as opposed to a ramble. Anyway, so I haven't shattered a phone screen. Buy an Android builder phone with a thermal camera. It comes in handy. I want one of those temperature checky things that they do places like even Uniqlo. Uniqlo has the temperature checky thing. And when I went to audition for Hello Scream, they had the temperature checky thing. And I just want to like go around to people and be like, temperature check. I really. Anyway, would you be afraid if I come and say hello next time you're out? Only if I'm pinky and if like, I mean, who knows when I'm gonna be at a gig? Because usually I see them at gigs. When's the last time I went to a gig? Probably would have been the last time I performed, actually, which was in December last year. So that's the thing, like, I kind of want to go to gigs, and especially, like, I'd like to support the local scene and venues and so on, but I mean, then now, like, I don't want to go by myself because, like, if you have to book a table or whatever, and then there's just, like, but then I've got to organize with people, and once you organize with people, it's harder to, like, if you don't feel like going, it's harder to, because people are, like, waiting on you, and I'm like, and then having to get there and get home and public transport, and public transport's been okay, but you know, you're supposed to wear masks and stuff, and I do that. I'm fine with that because I have cool masks and whatever, but it's just like, then I feel like I have to wash it, the mask and all that. And then the layers, and my brain is just like coming up with reasons not to go to gigs at the moment. And like having to sit down, I want to be up the front rocking out, and you can't do that at the moment. And yeah, it just feels more complicated than it needs to be. And I'm not a social person anyway. I'm not a going out person anyway. I was just starting to get out again, and then all this happened. And so, like, I've been set back, and it's going to take me a while to build back up. And then I don't even know what bands locally I want to see because, yeah, a lot of the bands that I used to see a lot of the bands that we used to play with, and then a lot of us went on hiatus or, you know, folded. And yeah, I need to. The Metal Sydney Metal, they're like on Facebook. They've gotten like a huge list of local bands, and so I need to check that out sometime. I think I posted it everywhere. So on my Destroy America page, but also AG Destroyer. So if you want to see Sydney bands, that's what I've got to look at. I just haven't had the time. Everything's crazy. Anyway, really thin phones make me worry I might. Yes! Snap it in half if you sit in it, although they now have flexible phones. Yeah, no, it's just like when I first got this, I was like, I don't want to break it. So OtterBox it is. Yeah. No, it definitely feels more solid once you've got it in a case like this. And it's just like, you could build phones better, but no, they don't. I don't have spirituality. What? Yeah, I more use the camera for cooking and sometimes late at night if I have to go somewhere. Anyway, I can see critters at it. Do you mean like the torch? Because the torch is kind of fun, isn't it? Especially if I want to, like, where's the torch? If I want to have a look inside and see where all the critters are, because my light, that LED light is over there, and I can see. Where is the little wormy thing? He had like a food coma even longer than mine, and I thought he was dead, but then he moved again, and I can't see him. No, he's not there. Probably hiding in there. But yeah, so there's life going on. Where am I up to? That's how you're gonna end up spotting a Bigfoot. Oh, the thermal camera. Okay. Oh, I see. For cooking. Thermal camera for cooking, hey? I don't cook though. Not really. Very rarely. We saw me cooking last live stream, and yeah. Anyway. No, what kind of phone did you say that was? Can I scroll back? Oh, I don't know. I want to see what the next Samsung phones look like, because so Mum has the S20. We got her for her birthday, and yeah, she's liking it. Although the camera, she had some trouble with the autofocus, but I showed her how to manual focus, and so now she's happy with that. But apparently the Ultra has more problems with focus that's like unfixable or something, and I'm just like, okay, for like it's like a $2,000 phone and you've got those issues. Also, I don't like the massive camera bump. Like on Mum's one, it's just the S20, so it's just a small one. But on the S20 Ultra, which I would be drawn to, cause you know, gotta have the fancy. But it's so huge, this huge thing on the back, and like I'm used to just having that as a camera. And you know, really, the thing that I probably need more is the front-facing camera. So that's the appeal of the Ultra, because like it's got more pixels and all that kind of stuff. But $2,000 and it's got focus issues. I don't know about that. And so I have a few cooking videos, but that doesn't mean I really cook. It's cooking for lazy people. No, I should do some updates on cooking, but there's so many videos that I have ideas for. It's just like, it's such an effort to do them sometimes, and I'm not a really YouTuber. I'm just like a nutcase who occasionally makes videos. Yeah, I don't know, it's funny looking up. It's fun. I follow some YouTube creator thingy, I don't know, and they have like advice on how to be a good YouTuber. And one of the ones recently from one of the things I follow was like saying sometimes you can change up your content, and I'm like, I already do that. I just make whatever I want to make. Try not to burn food videos. Yeah. Let's not put me in charge of the barbecue, hey. Hey, what's Facebook saying now? There's more stuff. Oh, someone's commented on things. We'll probably have to look at them later. Nani? Oh, too many screens. And Nani? Oh, something I'll be interested in. Okay. Dozens evacuated after chemical spill at Melbourne University lab. Ooh. Oh, and then there's 2 different reports. Okay, that'll be interesting to look at. I like looking at media bias. It's fascinating. But then, the ABC was running something about like, I think Kevin Rudd and Turnbull are all like, we should investigate the Murdoch media, and something like they're not presenting enough sides of the story. And I'm just like, okay, but are we going to make the Guardian newspaper start covering right-wing content? I don't know. It's just a bizarre thing. And like, maybe the concern is that that right-wing media is more popular or reaching more people. But in that case, left-wing media just needs to step up. Like, I don't know. Or maybe recognize that maybe that's not what's I don't know. I don't know. And Kevin Rudd, when he talks about someone being into money and power, okay, maybe I don't know what his position on money is, but like he's totally an egomaniac. And I don't know, we've had some nutcases in the top job over the past while. Nutcase who makes video channels. So I'm not the only one. That's comforting. Turnbull jumping on. Turnbull was such a disappointment, and I worry that Albo is going through the same thing. So, like, I felt that instead of Shorten, Albo should have been the leader of the Labour Party, but they've finally done that, but I think it's too late. I think things have changed, he's changed, and he's been a real disappointment when I've seen him on TV. Like, I wish I could remember what it was. He was complaining about something to do with diplomacy, like maybe it was about the American election, I don't remember, but the complaint he was making just sounded very strange, like as if he doesn't understand how diplomacy works. Like, we can't just say a bunch of crap, you know, when the Prime Minister talks international issues. Unless you're Trump, you could cause a serious problem. Like, people know not to take Trump too seriously, so he gets away with a lot of shit. But if our Prime Minister said certain things, you know, so he's got to be careful and, you know, get the timing right, get the wording right, talking about international stuff. And Albo, I wish I could remember the issue. He just comes along and is like, why isn't he saying this and this and this? And I'm like, You want to be prime minister too. Surely you should know how this works. Like, come on. And then there's just like lots of little things, and I'm just like, damn, he's disappointing in a similar way to how Turnbull was disappointing. And then I think with ScoMo, like, he's done well with the pandemic, and he also like won an election no one expected him to win. So I don't think the Liberals will get rid of him, and I think he stands a decent chance of staying in power. So Albert used to be good, but he's watered himself down. You really look big without your glasses. I really don't care what my... Yeah. These are men's glasses too, because I'm a nutcase like that. Someone's walking around. Hello. I'm online at the moment. Do you want to be online?
No, if you're in emails and stuff.
Oh, hang on. I have a little bit left in this one. You can squeeze it out. But then I've got a whole other tube as well.
Thanks.
So there'll be a little bit more in that.
See ya.
Hi, Dad. Yeah, no, he's got a mouth ulcer as well, and so I gave him my old tube, but there's only a little bit left in there. Glasses. No, it was Dad. Dave is out. Dave's out a lot at the moment. He's been playing a lot of sport, and just who knows where he is, but he's missing out on Mum's cooking and someone else on Facebook. Oh, that's a reply to a thing. Anyway, no, cross-dressing, I would be aiming to look male. I just ignore what I'm told a thing is meant to be. So, like, I'm told these are men's glasses. Technically, they're designed more for males, but they fit me and they work nicely. So who gives a shit? Like, they'll tell me it's men's glasses, but I don't have to listen to them, do I? It's like in Big W. Before I got into Gothic stuff, because I didn't even know where you bought that stuff, like in Big W, you'd go shopping for clothes and there'd be the chick section, and it's all this uncomfortable, frilly, girly crap. But you go to the boys section and they'd have t-shirts. I still have some. They have t-shirts with like fun designs and all that, the kinds of stuff I'm into. And I'm like, who gives a shit? It's in the boys section. It fits me. I'll wear it. And you know, you wouldn't even know it was a boys t-shirt except for the fact that it doesn't have girly cuts. Like, maybe it's a bit baggy if I go a size up. I don't know. It's not cut in a way that, you know, tries to do anything with your boobs or whatever. Yeah, like, it's just a label. Like, if it says men's or women's, who cares? If it fits you and you like it, just wear the thing. And that's like you know, like with Punk Rave Australia, right? They give us a list of stuff and we can be like, which ones do we want? Send in our wish list. And they always give me the female catalogs, but I would be perfectly fine looking at the men's catalogs, especially because like it's probably easier for a female to wear some of that men's stuff. Because if something is cut specifically to have boobs and so on, guys are flat chested, then you're just going to have like, you know, space for something that's not there. I would happily look at the men's catalog, but obviously that's not what they're wanting me to review. But that's just how I always, when I go onto a website, I don't really buy a lot online, but when I go to a website, I sticky beak the men's stuff because like I don't trust them to decide for me what I can and can't wear. If I see something I like and look up the size chart, maybe I'd think about it. Why not? Male eyeballs. Well, if maths is a traditionally male subject and I'm good at maths, then maybe my brain is a little bit male and your eyeballs are like right there with your brain. So, but no, it's more to do with the shape of the face. Like you can see like how big they are this way because men's face, like men are just bigger in general. So I think there's a bit of that and a bit of the wideness and all that. The new ones that I got, they're all the way over there. They're very similar, but they're a little bit smaller and rounder. Like this is square, more masculine. Yeah, but no, these were like the only ones Specsavers that were kind of in my style and had the metal nose thing, because the plastic ones, especially with like a half Asian nose, who makes glasses for a half Asian nose? So I need the metal things because they're easier to adjust. Men have such different eyes. No, it's face shape. I don't know, painting, you and all that. Yeah. Yeah, stuff and things. And politics. I don't know. It's kind of fun seeing that we're doing more with Japan, though. Obviously, I'm biased. But yeah, yay Japan and the new prime minister, who I don't really know anything about, but Japan and stuff. Yeah, no. I've heard a little bit from my family in Japan, and so they've actually been going to hotels and stuff. I think there's like some kind of a deal where they can go for cheap or whatever, a bit like they're planning to do in New South Wales. And so, yeah, I've seen like lots of hotel photos and food photos and so on from my family in Japan. They still have cases, more than Australia, but I don't know, they seem to be managing, but I haven't really looked into it. Europe looks terrible, though, how things are going there. I finally watched a Malin Baker video. I watched the one about hydrogen. But yeah, I don't have patience to watch other stuff. Although he linked on his Twitter, he linked to a thing about the Beirut port explosion, and there's this really cool video. I wonder if I can. I just put it in the live chat. You can watch this video where they've modeled the Beirut explosion and like how things might have happened based on photos and all this kind of stuff. It's really interesting. Like the way they've put it together, they explain their methodology and all that. So yeah, totally out of control. Actually, the Netherlands, there's an Owndays, which is the glasses place I went to. They have one in the Netherlands. The rest of it's pretty much like Asia, but then they have this one random one in the Netherlands on their map. Europe is terrible, but it's more the corona into the EU mishandling things. Okay. South Australia, apparently the outbreak was caused by like they've traced the virus and it came in from the UK, I think. And it seems to be one that spreads very quickly. Like there's different strains of this virus, and the one in South Australia spreads very quickly. So that's part of the reason they're doing the lockdown, I think. But also, like, just get it done. You don't want to be like Victoria. If you do the New Zealand style of go hard, go early kind of thing. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, no, they've traced it to the UK, and it's possible that virus is just predisposed to spread in a particular way. And, we could have been really lucky in Australia, like not getting one of those early on. Although we did things like shut down the borders and all that kind of stuff. We seem to have managed things well. Well enough that some of the politicians seemed very surprised early on that we got on top of it. I don't really just meet up at the pub, though. Like, I'm not a randomly meet up with people kind of thing. Like, I need there to be a gig or something. That's the way I socialize. I need a particular thing apart from just hanging out. I think it's all thing they're just changing the batteries on their birds. It's taking them a long time, but I guess there are a lot of birds out there. Hey. Did you see that? Apparently they tried to train pigeons or something to guide missiles by pecking at a screen, but by the time, like, it was unreliable, and by the time they got anywhere with it, computers were doing better anyway. Are they, or is it that they're making the birds 5G compatible? Oh my god. 5G is confusing though, hey, because I think there's like 3 different levels of it that go different speeds, but then the really fast ones can't get through the walls, so if you're indoors, good luck or something. I don't know. My Congress. I haven't really kept up with the latest from Trump land. It's laser guided pigeons. Actually, there's Oh, the pigeon missiles were actually great and reliable, but it took too long to train them. Yeah, there was some issue, but no, it reminds me of, I think, my iRobot book. So before the movie, there's Isaac Asimov writing iRobot, or like robot stories, and I think that might be the book where there's one where computers have become so valuable that instead of sticking a computer inside a missile, they've stuck disposable people to guide the missiles on from the inside. And it's a very strange story. I don't remember exactly how it ended, but that was the vibe of it. Is that what that was? I can also imagine you spend all that time training a single pigeon. A single-use pigeon is kind of wasteful. Yeah. Oh, speaking of training animals, I mean, it's not really training an animal, but at Bonsai, there's this big rock sort of thing outside the door, and these little lizards sunbake. I think they're water dragons. They sunbake on it. Occasionally they run through the studio. It's always like, you're like, oh, wow, there goes another one. But there's this one who sits up on the rock at lunchtime and knows that I'll leave a piece of fruit, like usually the end bit of a banana, because who wants the end bit of a banana? Not me, but apparently lizards and also Marley, like a bit of apple. And so today I got my little bit of banana, and I was approaching the rock and I was like, hey, I got this, and all that kind of stuff. And I hadn't even put the banana down on the rock when he was already like running towards me to get his banana. And so I was just like, oh, I'll quickly put it down. And then he's like chomping on the banana. And then I was working outside today right in front of the rock. And so he spent most of the afternoon after that just watching me as if maybe I'd have more banana for him. So I'm like, oh my God. So, if I bring a banana next week, is he going to run for me? Or like, should I, I don't know. I think they're vegetarian lizards. I should probably look up what species they are. I don't think he's going to bite off my finger, but yeah, maybe I could eventually, maybe he will take it from my hand. I don't know. But that's the fun thing that happened today. Another fun thing, completely unrelated, is in the morning, Mikey has a carer. Well, not every morning, but today he did. And they were in the other room watching TV. And so Mikey's on one chair, Kara's on another. And I just sort of like there's the door, I sort of jumped in, was like, bye, Mikey. And just thinking I'd give him a little bit of a fright, but the carer jumped and she sort of screeched a bit and then was laughing. And Mikey thought it was hysterical. He was like, oh my gosh. So that was a little bit fun for me this morning, just the way that she screeched, because she knows I growl, and I do that to Mikey all the time, but I didn't expect her to jump like that when I'm just like, as I was leaving. Enunciated correctly. What's his name? The lizard? Is that a fly? I thought I saw something. Lately, I think I keep seeing things out of the corners of my eye again. Every now and then that seems to happen. Some of you may remember the video where I sort of played that up and then switched to, what was it called? I don't know. It's an old video. But yeah, no. At the time, I thought maybe I was imagining seeing things out of the corner of my eye because it fits like my whole crazy psychos, split personalities, whatever. But no, actually, I think I have been thinking, and I'm like, oh my God, was there a cockroach or something? But yeah, no. There's never anything there, and so I don't know what's going on at the moment. Just me seeing things out of the corner of my eye. Is there something there, or am I imagining it, losing my mind, or what's left of it? If there was ever anything there to begin with. Do research on the Great Reset. Is that a environmental thing? I think Melon Baker posted something about that, and I just couldn't be bothered to look it up because I've sort of gotten a bit tired of world stuff. But anyway, let's name the banana lizard. I don't know, I don't even know if it's a boy lizard. I don't know how to tell. Maybe my boss knows. I don't know. Cashless society like Switzerland. Yeah, cashless. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what Japan does, because Japan has relied on cash so much despite being a high-tech country, and I think it's partly to do with the service, but of actually having the coins on the little tray and all that. But yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see if they really long-term embrace the cashless thing. There are some things that I worry about cashless, like, I mean, it's so convenient, but if you think about, for example, buskers, if everything's cashless, how are you going to, how does busking work in a cashless society? And then, like, at gigs, when you've got merch, not everyone has the fancy little terminals, although I guess they're getting easier to do. But yeah, no, there's some things that cash is good for, but yeah, I can sort of see why there's a bit of a switch going on. I have that sometimes, but I think it's just my hair. Oh, seeing things out of the corner of your eye. Yeah, no, so it's happened like I was watching Angel one night and I thought I saw like the shadow of a cockroach. It's probably just the reflections from the screen or something. But yeah, and then just then I thought for sure there was something like a fly or something over the bag, but there's nothing to be seen. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Banks don't tax people. What? What are you talking about? Oh, we have these little handheld things and then do those payments with smartphones. Yeah, you can get terminals off Amazon or various pop-up business models. Use Tybet. Use RFID. Yeah, the thing is, like, why do you need a terminal? Surely you could just do it with your phone. Like, I mean, not all phones, but a lot of phones would have the technology. Is there some reason you can't just build an app that can take payments like that? That's what I'm confused about. You see things out of the corner of your eye because you're crazy! What about vaccines? Yeah, fine. I had my flu shot this year. I have my flu shot pretty much every year. And look how I turned out. I'm fine. Haha. Yeah, no, and I'm not a paranoid person. I'm paranoid about things that I'm paranoid about. I'm sure there was something, but I'm not into conspiracy theories or whatever you're talking about. Nanotechnology. I like nanotechnology science fiction, but we're nowhere near some of the stuff that I'd be into. It's like with robotics and like where are our jetpacks? Our jetpacks are only like the odd enthusiast, or I don't know. I think someone died recently who was doing jetpack stunts or whatever. But we were promised some of this technology in the 70s before I was born, and we still don't have a lot. This notification is distracting. Oh, it's just that one. Yeah, no, for some reason it didn't. Anyway, oh my god. Conspiracies are fun in theory, but not really practical. Yeah, I like sometimes, I mean, right now I'm not interested in them, but there have been periods of time where I've been like, looked up conspiracy theories just for the entertainment value. The what was it, the Nibiru, you remember when we thought 2012 was the end of the world? Do you remember that, guys? That was a lot of fun. Is someone trying to get in? Oh, I left a light on, I think. I did leave it on this time. Oh, I think everyone's gone to bed, so it's just like Dave will come home. Anyway, flight suits are available for around 50. And you're in Europe, right? So that's either euros or pounds, right? So it's like 100,000 in Aussie dollars. There's several small turbine engines attached to the arms. No, I want the ones we were promised in science fiction, damn it. American dollars. Okay, so it'd be still pretty bad, but not as bad. Who has that kind of money? Not me. How about the theory that 2012 was the end of the world? just not this world, the next parallel universe over from us. Hey, well, if there are infinite universes, then the world is ending all the time, isn't it? And there's a gazillion me's, and in one of those, at least one of those, I'm some kind of crazy overlord cackling over everything. So yay me. I thought that was a good one. Maybe it's a reflection in my glasses. I don't know. I thought there was something there, but there's not. Conspiracy was invented by CIA and just like crazy truths. What? No, conspiracy theories are interesting to look up because they're crazy in a similar way that religion is crazy and spiritualities are crazy, and there's a lot of crazy things that people believe. But I haven't looked at them in a while. I think it's just like they're a little bit too obvious, whereas maybe media bias has been a little bit more interesting because there is more blurriness. With the media bias thing, sometimes two accounts of a story can actually be true, but they've focused on a particular element to spin it a particular way, and that gets complicated, and it's like, I can see what you're doing there. There's something there, just not in this universe. Your room is an overlap. Fringe series. I don't know Fringe series, but there was this book I read. I think I borrowed it from like the high school library even. And so this guy, he takes some drug, and the drug causes him to switch worlds. And so like alternate universe him takes his place, and they swap which universe they're in, and then when the drug wears off they switch back, and then I think he kills someone in the other world, and it turns out that in the other universe the person also died, and he's like, am I responsible for this? Because I think he was on drugs in the other world at the time or something as well. Very sort of strange kind of thing. I don't really remember how it panned out, but it's that kind of idea of world switching. The word conspiracy. No, I think we're on completely different wavelengths. Like if you're into that, okay, but I'm not into like the conspiracy theory thing. I'm very dead inside, so nothing is that exciting in this world, like the governments or whoever managing to keep secrets and stuff. Nah, especially, speaking of government incompetence and like, the failures of, any kind of worldwide conspiracy theory. One of my biggest disappointments with the Trump era, no aliens. Like, can you imagine they tell him, aliens exist, here's all the papers, don't tell anyone. He would tell everyone. So there's no aliens. Like if the American government knew about aliens, Trump would have blurted it out, and he didn't, and that's very disappointing. Anyway, moving on. And the collapsing walls between the worlds has images bleeding through to psychically sensitive people. Playing a shadow in your eyes. I think I had someone not that long ago on the internet asking if I was like some kind of a psychic. I think because I made a video a couple years ago about something in particular, and they're like, this stuff is like happening now or whatever. And I'm like, that's pure coincidence. It's not me being a psychic. And I think they picked like a particular element of the video, and I'm like, of course you think I'm psychic if you're focusing on like one specific thing. Here's a prophecy. I'm going to die. But I'm not going to tell you when. Eventually I will die, so it will come true. Like, come on, guys. Deep state. What's who on? I'd read that book if you remember what it is. I have no idea. Hearing other works. He said he'd tell all if he got in. Yeah, and like, what happened to the Area 51? They were all going to do the Naruto thing. I think that got shut down though, didn't it? January 20. I can't really pretend like I don't believe the same things that you believe, and I think you're a little bit crazy. I can't even pretend. You have an innate ability to fit perimeters that you can easily make money through, and you constantly step out of all of them. I'm gonna guess parameters. No, they're like, this is one of the tricky things of my life, isn't it? I was very good at maths in school, and I'm pretty sure everyone expected me to get a proper job, and I became this instead. And it's partly not being interested in the kinds of crap that I was good at, but also partly mental illness, because, you know, getting depressed all the time kind of puts a dent in that. If I can't enjoy doing maths, then I'm not going to do it, am I? And it's annoying. It's annoying that I'm not really into things I'm good at. Like, I was thinking about drama, right? Because, and like performance, my life as a performer, because I think when I was very, very little, I was into that and, you know, did school plays and whatever. But at some point, they realized I was good at maths. And then they started taking me out of the playground. So when everyone else is having recess or lunch, I don't remember, and I'd have to do like math stuff, extension program stuff. And I'm like, in hindsight, like, what if I was enjoying my playtime? What if that was my chance to learn how to be social, and you just took me out of the playground to do math stuff? And I was complaining to Cam, where are you? You didn't turn up for my live stream, and you knew it was happening. But no, I was talking to him, and the failures of so they used to give me maths problems that I didn't know how to solve because I hadn't learnt it yet. Like, if you give a kid algebra and they don't know that the A and the B are meant to represent numbers, like, I had no idea what to do with that, and they just gave it to me and they expected me to magically know how algebra works. Once I learned algebra in year 7 or whenever it was, easy, 100% on the test. But trying to give me these problems before, like, with no explanation of how to solve stuff, and they think I just magically know stuff because I'm good at it. Like, are you insane? And so they have me sometimes doing that kind of stuff. I mean, there's stuff I could do, and then they give me this extra shit, and I'm just like, it's just letters. How do you add up letters? What the anyway. And like shitty gifted and talented programs that just didn't help me at all. Like, I wanted to do robots. I looked at kids who went on Robot Wars, and I was like, how do you get on that? And this is before Google was really a thing too. And none of the adults around me think, gee, maybe she would like to do those things instead of crappy maths shit all the time. I don't know. I could rant about all that. But yeah, no, so I had a lot of potential, and I'm constantly disappointing everyone. Like, even when I did like art, when did I quit art in high school? Probably like, I think year 9 is when you have to choose subjects for the first time, and they were upset with that. When I quit drama, they were upset with that. Well, when I quit it at the end of year 11, yeah, he was disappointed I didn't keep it up. now I did Hello Scream, and I'm like, maybe I should have done a bit more acting. I did a bit of acting. I did a bit of drama at AIM as an elective, but, you know, I did all that stuff when I was too shy. How did I get onto this ramble about stuff that I'm good at, right? And money. Oh, that's what. So when I did drama in year 11 is when we looked at stuff like Stanislavski, theories of acting. I think that's the only one we did, or the only one I remember. And it's actually kind of fascinating. And like, there's more that goes into acting than you just think from a school play or whatever. And it was difficult. It was a challenge. And I found that more engaging than the maths. I mean, in year 12, maths was harder. And so I tried harder. And had to focus more. But when maths was easier, I didn't really have to think about it. And so it was just like, it was much more boring. Also, I had a good teacher for 4 unit who like made things kind of less boring. It's still kind of boring, and I would fall asleep a bit in class. But hey, no, the drama was interesting because there's so much I didn't know about it. And like, I should look more into method acting, because like, that's one I've been meaning to have a look at. Like, I don't know if I could do it, but fascinated by the theories of all this stuff. Anyway, how do we bring it back to the point? I can do a lot of things. I have a lot of potential, but I get bored easily and just move on. And I seem to be drawn to things I'm less good at. And so I don't really make the most of things like maths, where I could have done any number of, well, number related jobs and probably made a lot of money. But then I would also be depressed and maybe not alive. So I don't know. I'm in that case. I can't help it. Why do I keep sabotaging myself? Because I'm, I don't know, unstable or more interested in pursuing other things. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't enjoy some of the things that I'm good at that would also be profitable. And then I think I also just don't know how to do businessy stuff. Like I understand the theory, but to actually do it. And then with some of the other things I do, like once it gets too involved, like I like learning about stuff initially, but once I really get the hang of it and understand it more, that's when it becomes boring. Like that's what happened with robotics. It was interesting when I started, but then I learned too much about AI and how crap it is and how slow it's moving, and then the limitations of the robots themselves. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm done with that interest and I'll move on. So I didn't get to the point where you could make money with any of it. And I was never really nerdy enough anyway. Because, like, you know, some of those people who go on those shows and go into those competitions, they know heaps. And I'm just not like that. I can research something intensely for a short period of time, like working out my computer. But then after that, when you get like all these anti-alienware nerds popping up, oh, you should have custom built. I don't have the patience for that. I don't give a shit. It works perfectly from day one. I don't need to tweak it. It seems like I can't get to that level of depth. You know, like in some cases, like I guess like to make perhaps a politically incorrect comparison, an autistic level of focus. Like I get to a certain point and then I lose interest. Whereas someone who, like, if you were autistic, you would get super into it. And then if you're just a nerd, maybe you'd get more into it than me. And maybe you could make money. I don't know. I learn what I want to know and then I'm done and I move on and I don't make money. Anyway, yeah, so maybe that addresses that comment. Pretty much me. Oh shit, what did I don't remember what that refers to. See, the thing, like I could turn on the timestamps, but I don't remember what I said when because I'm not watching the clock. Huh? Who's paying me what? I get into something, develop all the skills, and then get bored. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, and like I've got all these artsy things, and I learn the basics, and I've got the drum kit, and I learn the basics, and then, well, like learning the drums helped me understand how to program them for like Rainbow Death Ray and other stuff I did before that. Because, like, you know, then you understand, okay, so you've only got two hands that can do all this stuff, and you know, so like, you know, no experience is wasted, especially if you're an artist type, because you don't know when something is going to come in handy later. And like all the crap that I've collected up in that roof thing, is just stuff I've collected that come in handy every now and then, and you're just like, finally, that thing that I've had gathering dust for 10 years or whatever, it's finally come in handy. Yeah, and so nothing's really wasted, but it's just like, when the thing's going to be relevant, I don't know. Can I call myself my own artwork? Because then everything is relevant. I don't know. You can defraud people through pretending to be a psychic. Who be a band manager, glasses model. Oh my god. Nah, band manager, you don't really make that much money and it's too stressful. I mean, maybe if you got into pop, but not in metal, and I couldn't do pop. Pretending to be a psychic. There was like, you know, I still think maybe one day I'll start a cult, but I don't have the energy to be that much of a wanker. And glasses model. The last thing I need is those fetish people. I mean, I might as well become a foot model if we're going there. Confidence scam. Has either no interest in being a con artist, but if she did, it would be wonderful. Sorry, I'm having a ice cream cone nutcases unite. I don't know why I stare, but I think I figured it out. That's me with electronics. Collect everything in case you need it in future. Yeah, I have. Well, I think it's mostly analog electronics that I used to work with. Like at AIM when I built my own microphone. Dealing. I don't think I'd have the patience to be any kind of leader, especially not real world. Like the stuff that politicians have to go through as well. There was it might have been one of the local papers. They did a thing on Gladys Berejiklian, the New South Wales Premier, about her life and stuff, and also some of the stuff she's been through this year, because there was bushfires and then there's COVID, and then she had the ICAC thing, and the toll it takes on your personal life as well. And I'm just like, good, it's her, not me. I don't want that job. And like also making some of the decisions in this pandemic in particular, because like we haven't had anything like it in 100 years. And you know, the world's changed and all that. Like I would not want to be making those decisions. It's tricky. And like I can see what she's trying to do. She's trying to keep New South Wales open. And New South Wales has been good at tracing things, so like maybe we don't need to worry so much. But I think it's also it's tricky. I think the thing that Victoria and South Australia have in common is it came from hotel quarantine. There was an incident in New South Wales where like a guard or something had COVID, but nothing came of it. Nothing really broke out. So most of the cases that New South Wales has had to deal with have been coming into state. And I wonder if that's easier to track. I'm not sure. Or maybe they just have a really good team. I don't know. But somehow we've managed to stay open mostly. We did close down for Victoria, but like we've had cases and we haven't really had to have the full-on restrictions. And it's interesting. And is it luck, which could run out? Or are we actually doing something well? And I'm sure, you know, the leadership team and whatever, they'd have more information and so they'd be able to make better decisions. But it's also like, it's tricky. I think South Australia's done the right thing by going hard on this so they don't end up like Victoria, hopefully. But yeah, no, you wouldn't want to be a leader trying to make some of these decisions and worrying about getting things wrong. Because like when they did Victoria, I think some of the early stuff was closing down those tower blocks so that they didn't have to close down the rest of the community, and it didn't work. But I think you can kind of see what they were trying to do. They didn't want to lock these people. Like they're trying to balance people's freedoms against managing the virus and so on. And it's just like, and you know, a lot of those premiers have been doing daily updates, especially at the height of the thing. It's just like, and I think Gladys was even like at the same time every day. And I think, no, Victoria, sometimes they were a bit late. But yeah, no, getting up every day to give this press conference, like they haven't had holidays in ages. And I just, you know, I'm happy to shit on politicians because there's a lot of garbage that goes on. But there's also a lot, like particularly once they're in leadership, there is a lot that they have to deal with. And so as fun as it is to bash politicians sometimes, you still have to recognize that they are human, and some of the shit they have to go through, like you have to be a particular kind of person to deal with that. Now, as for a dictatorship, it depends. Like if you've seen CGP Grey, is that CGP Grey? Rules for Rulers video, you can look it up. Doesn't sound fun either, because you've got to please all these people to stay in power. If you didn't have to worry about that though, well, now we're entering fantasy land, and so it's not really relevant, is it? I'm gonna fuck off. It's a really nice day outside, so I'll catch you later. Yeah, try not to die. I mean, you've probably already disappeared while I've been rambling, but yeah. when you go out, try not to die, because I know things are crazy over there. 3 some with 6 huh? What? Okay, so this is yeah, so for the record, I don't like sexual comments in there. So if you keep doing that, I probably will have to put you in timeout. So yeah, please don't, and try not to be too weird. Yeah, it's just like it's not cool with me. I've written a whole EP which I can link you to, and the lyrics are important, but I think most people don't care. But what can you do? Actually, I should probably do it this way. Hang on. La 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 la. You can have a listen to this and you can look at the lyrics, and yeah. Anyway, I feel like I need to remind people sometimes, but whatevs. I just like, I don't want that to be my whole identity kind of thing, because I don't know. I think I'm just bad with groups, being in groups and stuff. Like the whole gothic conforming non-conformists or whatever. I don't know, groupthink. I'm not a fan of groupthink. Anyway, no. What else is going on? No, what time is it? Oh shit, we've been going for 2 hours. I didn't even notice. I was just like ramble. Well, if I want to fit in some Angel, I should probably wrap it up actually. Especially since we've gotten to an awkward note. But no, so in the next 9 minutes, if anyone other than Mr. Pringle wants to raise something, ask a question, now's your chance. Otherwise, I will sort of slowly peter out. 111 minutes. Hey, it is too. I mean, I had to do the add up in my brain, but yeah. Anyway, 2 hours should make up for me not posting any videos for a week and a half. I just, yeah, no, sometimes, like, I like making videos, but sometimes I also fall out of the habit, and sometimes I just can't be bothered. And I know I should, because I've got ads back, but like I started putting ads on some older videos and then just got tired of it. I probably should have just auto added it, but I didn't see that option until later. And I also don't want to get in trouble for putting ads on stuff that shouldn't have ads. So yeah. And then does it really matter? I've got the most popular videos anyway. But no, I should make more new content. And I can't be bothered, because like YouTube's not my career or anything. It's nice to have pocket money. Nice to have the idea of pocket money at least. Because it'll be a while before they pay me anything. I think it has to get over like $100. So they're gonna try and make $100 from ads. Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway, no, if I was a good little YouTuber and if I wanted it to be my career, I would hustle more, but nope, kind of can't be bothered. And then, like, you know, if I wanted to be a proper YouTuber, I'd be able to stick to a topic, wouldn't I? Well, that's what they say to do anyway. And they also say, like, at the very start of your video, you should say, like, what the point is so that people will know to stick around. And I don't do that. I sort of go on like an introductory ramble, and then you find out what we're actually going to be talking about today. And then there's these live streams where I'm just like, hey guys, I'm having some tea, topic everything. Yeah, well, if my channel has a niche, it's me, because that's the one common thing. Me and my interests, because sometimes I don't show my face, but I'll show you a jar of ants. Anyway, no, there's so many things I kind of want to make videos about, but not enough that I feel motivated to do it. And yeah. Oh, that was another thought, and it's gone. Oh no, that's the thing. It's like, So I think last video was Depression Terrarium, and I was feeling a bit down, but maybe terrariums will make me feel better. But actually, I've just been doing better generally, and I don't know why. Maybe I did eat something and I just don't know what it was and reacted badly to it. I don't know. But yeah, no, so I've been doing better the last little while. I've just been busy. Maybe being busy has helped. I don't know. But yeah. So like I've just sort of been doing life stuff and not worrying too much about the YouTubing. So, I don't know what video I'll make next. It's sort of like depends what I feel like, depends what I have time for. I think with some of the work stuff going on, I might not have enough time to do some stuff. So you just have to bear with me. It's like yeah, I've got these lists of stuff. Oh my god, there's so much stuff. Some of the ideas that I wanted to make videos about, I don't care about anymore. So there's that too. And then there's things like I keep saying I'm going to make a video about some of the garbage comments I get on my Alienware video. But I feel like that's one where I'd have to sit down and write down all the things and just stay on topic. And I can't be bothered. So I don't really care enough. It's just every now and then I get a comment from someone who's like, why'd you spend so much money? Why didn't you get this? And then there's people who seem to think that I bought the computer this year. Because like I uploaded the video this year because I had to get the... It took me ages to catch up on my video editing. But I bought the computer last year, and some people... It seems like they don't realize that the NVIDIA 30 series hadn't come out and I needed a computer right then. So what were my options? Because I know the 2080 Ti is quite an expensive card. And now some of the newer ones, some of them are still pretty expensive, but there are some that are like cheaper, but that get very close in performance to the 2080 Ti, if you can get one, because they've had shortages apparently. And so some people think I'm crazy to have gotten a 2080 Ti, but like the 30 series didn't exist then, and I plan to just keep this card for ages, and it's more than I need anyway, so I don't need the latest and greatest. Also, like being an early adopter is a bad idea. I know some people out there are like, oh, shiny new thing, but you should wait until they've gotten some of the kinks out. Because I think the original 3080 was fine, but one of the brand ones where they changed the fans or something had some kind of issue, and it's like, wait for them to sort that out. And like some of the other cards, I think that they haven't finished releasing them all. So like, wouldn't you want to check all the stuff and figure out exactly what... I don't know. The raffles for graphic cards. Yeah, like, I mean, I haven't been actively seeking this stuff out, but like on the Google thing, you can just tap it and it shows you random news. And so it's been showing me stuff about the 30 series. And the other thing is, why would you rush into this when AMD has their line coming out as well? Like, don't you want to see what they have? Because as I understand it from what Google is showing me, these random articles, it sounds like AMD might actually be competitive this time. Good performance for cheaper, even cheaper than the 30 series is compared to the 20 series. Like, why would you buy a 3080 or a 3090 or any of those cards? If you're trying to be sensible, I would wait. I would wait until the early adopters have dealt with all the kinks and, ironed out the bugs. And I would also wait to see what AMD does, because, I mean, did they make some announcement recently? I haven't really caught up, but, I was seeing things that like they might actually have caught up. I've been seeing the Mway Facebook posts and all the people complaining about them. Apparently their staff got first dibs on the new cards. Well, why not? I mean, they work there. They of course they'd grab them, wouldn't they? Because there's such a limited supply. And it sounds like there's manufacturing problems. Also, COVID doesn't help because, global supply chains, blah, blah, delivery, blah, blah. I feel like I got really lucky getting my computer because, like, apart from, getting the last Alienware desktop that still has an optical drive built in, but also avoiding all the delays and all the stuffing around and whatever. there are people who like are trying to make me regret my Alienware, but it's such a good computer. It might not be you're perfect and like, you know, people who overclock, okay, you have different needs. I don't want to do that. I don't need that stuff. I have the option to overclock if I want, and I think some of it is automatically overclocked, but I don't need to play with that stuff. If you're going to do that stuff, fine, custom build. Go over there, you nerd. I don't know. And it's my money. What do you care what I spend my money on? You know, are you upset because you don't? I don't know. I feel like some people are upset because, you know, they don't have the money to spend on those things. But like, I hadn't bought a computer for 8 years. So I'd been saving up a long time. And then I planned to keep this computer for a long time. So when you even out the costs, like, you know, divide how many years I end up using it for, it's not as bad as it sounds. And how I use my money is how I use it. I tend to like buy big and keep for a long time. And like, you know, I'm still, yes, I have new clothes these days. Some of it was from Japan, some of it's from Punk Rave, so I didn't even pay for that. They gifted it to me, Punk Rave Australia. But like, I still have t-shirts from like when I was shopping at Big W, like years old, and t-shirts that are super stretched out. I tend to keep stuff a long time. That's just how I am, which it seems to be different to other people. And so people assume I'm spending these massive amounts of money all the time. No, I don't spend a lot of money, and then all of a sudden I spend a good chunk of my money. Like I had this is my first smartphone. I had a Nokia 3310 and then a Nokia 3315 for 13 years altogether, I think. I got this in 2016, my first smartphone, and I haven't moved on yet, although because of the issue, I'm going to have to move on at some point, because if it doesn't operate as a phone anymore, that's disappointing. But, you know, phone is the main function, right? And then doing YouTube stuff, a new camera would be nice, because the sound is just not what it used to be. And especially if I end up having to do more proper videos, like if I'm doing more punk rave, I would rather just have the audio, you know, for a smartphone. Oh my god. Yeah. And then like, you know, most people would be on phone plans that are like $60 a month or $100 a month. Some people have, whereas mine's $5 a month. So like the way I spend my money is very different to other people. And these guys who criticize my Alienware purchase just can't wrap their tiny brains around the idea that anyone would be different. They assume I'm a gamer as well, and they assume I have the same needs as them and the same interests. And I don't know, it's very bizarre. New one every time I recontract every 2 years. Yeah, see, that's too expensive way to live. You know, mine's on that super, like, I mean, I guess if you're more social though, maybe you need the phone for more stuff. I don't go out very much. I don't talk to many people. I sit at home on Facebook instead. And I mostly just post about myself. I don't really talk to that many people on Facebook. I just, you know, it's like my diary. It's sort of narcissistic. But no, you know, like all the COVID tracing thing. I've got it. I've got the COVID safe thing, and then they've got the QR codes you've got to sign into restaurants and so on. But and like that's good, because I wouldn't remember like who was I with, where did I go, blah 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 blah. But I also realized me posting my life on Facebook is a really good way for me to remember what the hell I did, because I can't even remember what I did the other days, like, you know, last week, yesterday. What is time, especially in 2020? I just struggling to keep on top of like what time is. Not so not social. I don't know, like I know some people will just like buy that, like they spend a lot of money, but then they don't have a lot of money, and so they have to buy cheap stuff, and cheap stuff doesn't last as long, so you're constantly buying new stuff, but it's always like this sort of average quality. Where and I don't really like that. I like to just like save money, not buy things I don't need. Although I do buy stuff, but you know, overall, I try to live a low budget life. I mean, I'm very lucky to live with my parents, and they don't feel any need to kick me out. So I'm very lucky with that. But I know there's people who could live with their parents and don't, because they have some idea that like it's not cool, or it cramps their style. And I can understand, like, there are some things about, living in the whole family situation, like, not having a space to record. But on the other hand, if you're in an apartment or something, there's noise from who knows what. Depending on where you live, you might get unlucky in that sense. But no, like, I try and live low budget, and that means that every now and then I can buy random stuff. The Bunnings outing. I didn't even tell YouTube all the things I bought. I got some, that's right, with this, I got some horticultural charcoal to put in the bottom. And so hopefully this one will do a bit. Well, we'll see how they both go. I did get mold in the other one, but it's already like run its course pretty much. So yay, nature. But yeah, like that Bunnings outing was just like one day. Also, like, because I'm still on, someone unliked my stream. Did I upset someone? That's hilarious. No, so I've got the whole like Centrelink thing, because they said, like I wasn't going to keep it, was because I was on JobKeeper, but then they had that card for me, and they're like, you just have to keep reporting, and because I keep reporting, they give me that extra money. Although I think I've got to look for like 2 jobs. I don't know, it's so confusing with so because I'm working, I only have to look for half as many jobs. So in my job plan, it said I have to look for 4 jobs a month. But then I reported last week that I worked more than the threshold that I need to be considered fully meeting my obligations. And when I logged into the thing, the dashboard that tells me how many jobs I need to look for, it only said 2. And I wonder if that's an automatic adjustment because I'm doing enough work according to them. So I got to see the next reporting period, how many jobs they want me to look for. But yeah, no, I think did I upset that other dude? Anyway, no. Oh, and there's another unlike. Is that someone just screwing with me though? Because I know some people do that sometimes. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, so buying stuff. I don't know. I just have a different way of doing life in general, I think. And then also, like, having been depressed, like, I used to buy stuff and, that's how these shelves got a little bit crazy. But I think when I got depressed, I just stopped buying stuff because, like, what's the point? So, yeah, I don't buy as much garbage as I used to. And I really have too much that's just sitting around. Oh, those were freebies, though. And then there's stuff that people give me. And so it still manages to get a little bit crazy. But no, I used to impulse buy more, I think, and just be more interested in things, and then went through the depression, and then maybe grew up a little bit, she says, with crazy blue hair at the age of 32. But hey, who's counting? Anyway, so we've gone past the 2 hours because I got on a tangent, and I can't even remember what I was just tangenting about. Alienware, I think, graphics cards. I don't know. If I was buying a computer today, but didn't have to buy it urgently, I would be waiting to see what AMD does, and then I would wait a little bit after they've got all their stuff, both NVIDIA and AMD. I would wait and see how they go. And also, AMD seems to have some things that are competitive with Intel, like they're fighting 2 different battles. There was like that Hitler reacts to whatever. Someone did a really cool one of that. I don't know, who did I share that with? I would wait and see how some of those battles play out, because at the moment it seems a bit more interesting than it has been in a few years, but I wouldn't buy right now if you were trying to go for like latest and greatest ish, or like fast and value. I don't know. I would see how things are playing out before I bought any of that personally, if I didn't have a deadline. Like when I had this computer, my other computer was like on its last legs, the graphics card was poofing out and all that, so I had to buy something so I could get on with my life. But if I didn't have that, I would be like, ooh, let's see this battle, which wasn't really happening then. But Hey, anyway, so I gave people 20 minutes to get in a last word pretty much, right? Or was it more like 15? And no, if I want to watch Angel, I'll have to like pretty much get onto it now. So thank you everyone for joining. I will give you another half a minute to come up with anything else. Last word. Once it says 2:10, I'm gonna bugger off if you don't get me onto another tangent. Of course, there's a little bit of a delay between me speaking and the chat. I don't know, how long is the delay? It's only like a few seconds, right? Unless people are playing like replay or whatever. But yeah, no, I think we're done, huh? Yeah, 2:10. All right, yeah, it's too late. We're done here. I'm gonna go and probably go to the bathroom. Should I brush my teeth yet? I don't know. And then I'll watch Angel, and then I'll go to bed, and then tomorrow is going to be a lot of work. All right, so thank you for joining, and thank you for the vast majority of people who managed not to be weird or uncomfortable. Yeah, because this, I don't know if they upset that guy, but the last word is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, guys.